Shalom guys. How's everybody day? How's everybody been? How's everybody year coming along? Hope everyone is blessed and doing well. Okay, so today we're going to go into UFOs and the conceptions of UFO. So Cena, the 1950s with science fiction movies and television, radio shows, they have made UFOs seem as if they are fiction and nothing but tales. When we look back at history, there are a bunch of evidence and depiction on UFOs. These are 100% documented through art and writing since the beginning of time. So today's question will be, are UFOs written in the scriptures, and what are UFOs? So today we're going to go into it. So we're going to go into 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. And he said unto me, in the beginning when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ere the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ere the foundation of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ere the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, wherever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ere the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also there shall be ended, and by none other. So here we have a little beginning, right? The beginning of this thing right here. Okay, let's go into the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1. Okay, book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9 through 10. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So like these chariots, or UFOs, or disc aircraft, whatever. These things have been laid since the foundation of the earth, since the beginning of time, when the Lord pondered and the Lord laid out the foundations, and he called out what he called out and named things and so forth and so forth, right? So there's nothing new about the UFOs. There's nothing new about the tales of the UFOs. Okay, let's go into the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 68. Psalms chapter 68, and we're going to go into verse 4. Sing unto Elohim, sing praise to his name. Exalt him that rideth upon the heavens by his name Yahweh, and rejoice before him. See, exalt him that rideth upon the heavens by his name. Okay, I'm going to jump down to 17. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So when the Lord rode in the heavens, he rode through the chariots of God, known as UFOs, basically. Okay? But I'm going to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 4. Jeremiah chapter 4. I'm gonna jump down to verse 13. Behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than angels. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. Okay? It gives you that right there. Chariots come as clouds, are rideth upon as like a whirl, or shall be as a whirlwind. Verse 14. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness, that thou mayest be saved. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? Because Israelites to have vain thoughts. Oh, there's aliens out there. There is little tiny aliens in Mars and in Jupiter and these, that, and the third. Okay, that stuff is small people thinking. Okay, there is no such thing as an alien. An alien, according to scripture, would be somebody outside of the norm, or an outsider, such as being alienated from the Commonwealth of Israel. Okay. The book of Ezekiel, which is one of the best books that identifies chariot and whirlwind. The book of Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, a fire enfolding itself, and brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass, and they had the hands of a man under their wings. On their 4 sides, they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. There turned not when they went every one straight forward, as to the likeness of their faces. They 4 had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps, and went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and therefore had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So what is Ezekiel explaining to us? What is the image that he would like for us to grasp in our minds, in our thoughts? He's speaking about a creature with wings that are attached, 4 at the back, 2 at the front, soul like calf foot, body is like a burning brass, right? So these guys are dark, like burnt. They have faces. On the right side, they have the lion. On the left side, they have the ox and the eagle, most likely behind. And the front is like a man, maybe. Okay? This right here goes into what's known as the angelic beings, known through the scriptures as cherubims. Okay? Instead of saying, oh, there's little aliens down there in Mars, what about angels, cherubims? What about those things? Right? Try to picture that in your head. Instead of little alien with two little antennas or some weird ass face. No. I want you to picture the burning brass, the four different faces, the two wings in the front and the four wings at the back. What about their wheels? Within their wheels. Let's look at that. Okay? Let's look at the images of UFOs. Okay, UFO images. Just give me a second. Look at that. That's a wheel with inside a wheel. Okay? A wheel within a wheel. A wheel within a wheel. A wheel within a wheel. If that's not a wheel within a wheel, then write down a comment below what would it be. Because this is the truth. This is the wheel within the wheel. Okay? But he said that his looked like barley. Now the color barley is the same color as green. Okay? So that means that it will be looking like something like a greenish disc. See if I can find a right picture of a barley UFO. I saw some that look like green, but I would like a right picture of it. Let me see right over here. I might just type it in. UFO green. Okay. So I'm trying to get the right depiction of this thing. I guess this will come close to it right over here. This one right here. You also have this one right here. Okay. This is the wheels within the wheels. Spoken of in Ezekiel. Now, verse 17. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. So what is them rings? Right, you seen it right over here. Okay, see that? See them rings? Or more so like this one right here? They're rings within the wheel that look like eyes and dreadful. Okay, people be scared of these things when they out and looking for like the sky and looking at the stars and stuff. Next thing you know, they see something like this. Well, what they're actually looking at is none other than a chariot of the Lord, meaning that man, he's seeing a phenomena, a wonder. What is that? What's the identification of that? What can I name that? It is a wheel inside a wheel, which is known as a chariot of God. Okay? Jump down to verse 19 now. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went, thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. So the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. So they moved these chariots within their own spirit. They move it. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was the color of the cherubim crystals stretched forth over their heads above. Okay, that's different, But you guys get the picture right here. Okay, let me see if I can find the one about the river of Chebar. Let me type it in. River of Chebar. I think it might be Ezekiel chapter 10, but I'm not really too familiar. Okay, yeah, it is Ezekiel chapter 10 right here. Okay. I'm going to start in the context of 14. Verse 14, I mean. And everyone had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a cherub, and the second face was the face of a man, and the third the face of a lion, and the fourth the face of an eagle. And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river Chebar. When the cherubims went, the wheels went by them. And when the cherubims lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. When they stood, these stood, and when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also, for the spirit of living creatures was in them. Then the glory of Yahweh departed from off the threshold of the house and stood over the cherubims. And the cherubims lifted up their wings and mounted up in the earth in my sight. When they went out, the wheels also were beside them. And everyone stood at the door of the east gate of Yahweh's house. And the glory of Yahweh, Elohim Yasharel was over them above. This is the living creature that I saw under the Elohim Yasharel by the river Chebar. I knew that there were the cherubims. Everyone had 4 faces apiece. Everyone 4 wings. And the likeness of the hands of man was under their wings. And the likeness of their face was the same faces which I saw by the river Chebar. Their appearance in themselves, that went everyone straight forward. So this is what he saw, the depiction of them. Okay? This is what he saw in Ezekiel in the first chapter. Okay? All of them. They had their 4 sides that turned not as they went, but to the place where the head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and the wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they 4 had. As for the wheels, it was cried unto them in my hearing, O wheel. And everyone had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a cherub, the second face was the face of a man, and the third face of a lion, and the fourth the face of an eagle. The cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river Chebar. Okay, see that? So that's what it is. That's what it is. Think I missed read for verse 14. So the first face, right, was the face of a cherub. The second face was the face of a man. The third face of a lion, and the fourth face of an eagle. Okay, and this is by the river Chebar right here. Okay, I'm glad that I corrected that. Because in Ezekiel chapter 1, he explains it just like so. Okay? I'm going to go back to Ezekiel chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the Verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among their captives of the rear of Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Alahim. So this is what it means about the UFOs, or the conceptions of UFOs, and what are UFOs, and what is this, and are there aliens? No, there's no such thing as aliens like that. There's only cherubims, seraphims, okay, known as Malahakiam, which are known as angels, basically. Right here in the book of Psalms. My bad. Okay, Psalms chapter 104. Psalms chapter 104, verse 3. Who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariot? Who walketh upon the wings of the wind? Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire? Who laid the foundation of the earth that should not be removed forever? So here you have it. That flaming fire, his angels being spirits, the clouds his chariots, walking upon the wings of the wind. That is the Lord right there. That is the Lord doing. Who knows? Maybe when you see a chariot, you may be looking at the Lord, maybe, if you're lucky. Because you don't know, to be honest. It might just be a regular cherubim. But the Lord says that he rides upon the wind. He's the one that rides. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. Oh, see? Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh should be many. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh should be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the abomination, the mouth shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh. For under their works and their thoughts it shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Paul, and Lud, that draw the bow to Tubal, and Javan to the isles of far off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh out of all nations upon horses and chariots, and lifters upon mules and upon swift beasts. To my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel unto the house of Yahweh. So there's a lot of things going to happen, The Lord says that with his chariots, he's going to bring fire and a sword. Let me see if I can get this one where about the grasshopper. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see. Maybe not. I have one in mind right now, or he says that he hops. Let me see. Never mind. I cannot picture it in my head right now, so we're gonna keep on moving forward. 2 Kings 2:1. It came to pass when Yahweh would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went up from Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, Tarry here, I pray thee, while Yahweh send me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, As Yahweh liveth, and as the soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel, and the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha, and said unto him, Knowest thou that Yahweh will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, Yea, I know it. Hold he your peace. So, this goes for the chariots. How Elijah got lifted up by the whirlwind. Second Esdras 7. Elijah not only wants to give up by the whirlwind. Elijah was not the only one to get lifted up by the whirlwind. There's a verse right here, Second Esdras, and how the Lord also took Esdras up in a whirlwind as well. See if I can find it really fast. It might be in like chapter 8. Maybe 9. Okay, it's around there somewhere. Maybe you guys can catch it when you guys read upon it. So there you guys have it. 100% documented through art and writing since the beginning of time. Spoken of in UFOs since the beginning of time. The chariot has always been here. The vehicles of God. The angels has always been here. The flaming spirits, the ministers of God. They all been here. The Lord created them all. The Lord created everything, spoken of in 2 Esdras, chapter 6. It is the Lord that created the foundation of the earth, created the foundation of the heavens. He did everything. It's all under Him. It's all for Him. Things seen and unseen. So hopefully that was edifying for you guys out there, and stay blessed. Yahweh bless you guys. Shalom.